When I came here, and I noticed that there was only a few kids. I knew that I needed to get to work. I knew that this church is only going to flourish if it has a strong youth group. And that goes for any church. You know, the youth group is the next generation of the church. That's what continues the growth of a church. And if you don't have that, then your church goes down. That's why I believe the youth is the most important part of a church. So it's kind of funny because a meeting that we were in for the committee, one of the first meetings I was in, and whenever it started to take off, I remember people asking me, what are you doing, to get all these new kids? Where are they coming from? And, I thought of it as like, I'm very kind of blunt when it comes to answering questions like that. Basically, I told them it's not me. It's the kids inviting other kids. Just if you give a kid a space to exist and feel important and loved, then they're going to invite their friends, and then their friends are going to invite their friends. So it's very important, very, very important to make a child feel welcome in a church. A lot of credit goes to the support of the church. I think once everyone saw what was happening and people started to buy into it, and they saw the young presence in this church, they wanted it to keep going. Everybody's rallying together for this youth group to really take off. I was really blessed. I was very, very blessed growing up with my dad being a pastor. I was able to be heavily involved in the church at an early age, and learning from those youth pastors that I've had, and those youth counselors, and we had junior youth leaders, and I always wanted to be a junior youth leader. I learned so much from those people. They blessed me so much. I wouldn't know the things that I know about youth if it wasn't for them. Them always being in my corner, just cheering me on, was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to give these kids that same opportunity.
So Aaron had a youth that just recently did a story video, and he had commented and told Aaron that he would like to be involved with youth as a leader. And so what Aaron just said about how all these people inspired him to start, he is so proud of that child. He is so excited to be something that's inspiring someone else to do what he was inspired to do.
Megan talks a lot about, you'll hear her say, these are my kids, these are my babies. And, we have 4 kids of our own. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't think of these kids as our own. I love every single one of them. I do. They are awesome. Like, their personalities are just nuts. But they are so fun. Hearing Landon talk about, he wants to be a part of teaching the next generation. That was a big deal for me growing up. I wanted that. I wanted to be someone who was able to share my faith with others. With kids, man, they soak up like sponges. And when you talk about God with a bunch of kids, seeing them get fired up, it's awesome. It's completely awesome.
Yeah, we had one kid come to our youth group, and she was like, I don't really know about this religion. I was like, me either. Let's figure it out. And so she would come to me with questions, and I'd be like, I had some of the answers. And I'd go to Aaron, and I wasn't sure she was going to come back for week 2. But by week 6, she's all in. She went on the mission trip. I'm so proud of her.
So I constantly feel like my work here is not done. It's something that means so much to me. These kids mean so much to me. You know, not only am I responsible for teaching them about God, but I feel like it's also my responsibility to teach them life skills, how to be good people. And in the constant battle of the world we're in, and how much negativity and bad influence there is, it is a huge challenge. It is a huge challenge, but it's something that I strive for every day. Seeing them turn into young people, young adults,
They're growing up.
man, it's amazing. It's amazing because it makes me think of the impact that my youth leaders had on me. I just hope I'm doing that good of a job. I hope I'm instilling that into them. And I feel like I am. You know, I get those confirmations that I am. But I still feel like my job is not complete here.
It's so incredible because one of them told me like 2 weeks ago, she said, you know, it's like we've known each other forever, but it's only been 8 months. And it's that constant hanging out on Sundays where they get to know each other and they're going outside of church together and they have those strong friendships. And I love that.
The youth trips that we've taken, each one has been strange. Each one has been strange. You know, they've been great. The kids have learned how to make an impact. They've learned how to serve people. They've learned how to pray. They've learned how to call on God. They've learned how to cook, clean. They've learned how to figure out issues between themselves.
Yeah, like one of my favorite things when we got back from a youth trip, a parent said, "What did you do to my kid?" And my heart dropped. I said, "Nothing." And she was like, "I don't even recognize him. He can do all these things. He's like a grown man." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you're welcome."
My goal is for these kids to turn into great people. My goal is for them to be on fire for God, to love each other, to love themselves. Mainly, I just want them to look back when they are older and they're like, man, we had such a great time. That was such good faith-based fun. I think the seeds that are being planted right now are going to blossom and are really going to sprout something beautiful. That's all it takes. That's really all it takes. Commitment. You know, really staying with it. If you stick around for those kids, they're going to be with you from start to finish. One thing I want all these kids in the youth group to know is that I'm proud of them. God's proud of them. Their parents are proud of them. They're doing awesome. I tell them every time I see them, I love them, and God loves them. And if there's anything they need, just let me know. As long as a kid knows that someone is in their corner fighting for them and has their back, they'll stick it out. They'll be there.